guys, what's up? Welcome to another episode of Radio Gorepress. This is episode 88. We are creeping ever further towards that 100 mark. We should do something exciting for that. I am Rosie. With me, as ever, is my beautiful co-host Sarah. Say hello, Sarah.
Oh. Hello, Sarah.
I said a nice thing. I called you beautiful because I think you're beautiful.
You did. Such flattery, not today. I'm very clammy.
Call it dewy. Dewy is what people go for. Your dewy complexion.
I'm very shiny.
I'm very glossy. Yeah, we are officially small puddles of people on the floor. It is silly warm. It's so warm at the moment, and I hasten to add, we are in the UK and we do not have air conditioning in our houses. We have windowless rooms with no air because we own cats and we can't open any doors or anything.
I ventilate my house ever so slightly. I can open the window a crack and then lock it so that Lucille can't push it open to escape.
It's a nightmare.
Because we all know she is a little hairy Houdini.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah, that's good. Hairy Houdini and Burke. Your two cats.
And let's face it, I could leave the front door wide open and Burke would never leave me.
See, I thought that about Fawkes, but he went on a little adventure the other night. He scooched backwards out of his unget-outable jacket and went for a little jolly around the garden. And apparently, we only found him because he managed to sneak out past Dad and then turned up in the garden in the dark because Mum and Dad were sitting outside and went, "What's up, fuckers?" And Mum was like, "Well." But yeah, he's under house arrest at the moment for being a naughty boy.
I see. Has he got an ankle tag on?
He may as well do.
Do cats have ankles?
Yes.
I mean, technically they have 4, right? Do they have 4 ankles?
Fankles.
Am I overthinking this?
Do they have fankles?
Let's go with that.
Fine. That's fine. Anyway, cat talk aside. We are very warm. If we get stuff wrong, you're just going to have to put it down to us not functioning on a basic human level at the moment. So...
It's heat stroke.
Yeah, it is. Pure and simple. It's all a bit too much. Before we go any further, just want to say if you are a first-time listener, then welcome. We don't normally talk about cats so much so early on. If you are a returning listener, then that's great. We love you guys. Thank you for being part of our little family. We have got various social media presences. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all the good stuff. And if you want to give us a like, a share, a comment, any of that goes a really long way to getting our stuff out to more people, which is always super helpful. If you just...
Ultimately, we're terrible at self-promotion, so if you could give us a hand...
Yeah, we're really bad.
I think that's what we're saying.
As people, we're very bad at taking compliments and we're very bad at bigging ourselves up. So if you like what we do and you want to do it for us, we wouldn't say no. On that note, if you decide that you'd like to support us monetarily, then that keeps the show going all the longer, and you can find us on Patreon where you can pledge for some extra content each month, or you can head over to Ko-fi and tip us a Ko-fi.
We've had this discussion so many times.
Every time I forget what we decided on.
Just pick one and say it confidently.
Coffee.
No one will question it.
There we go. Buy us a coffee.
Banging.
Buy us a coffee though. So the film that we chose to cover this week is first time watch for me. I'm assuming a many time watch for Sarah.
Yes, but it had been a little while.
Okay. And it is it's Brian Yuzna's classic. It's 1993's Return of the Living Dead 3. And I believe Sarah has a synopsis for me. Us.
I do. It's a bit longer than the usual synopsis.
Is it?
I'll give it my best.
So just tell you what the entire film is?
It's just a play-by-play.
That's it. That's the podcast, guys.
10-minute show. Right, so in a secluded army research centre, observers look on in stunned silence as Lieutenant Colonel John Reynolds' brainchild, 2,4,5-trioxin, reanimates a decaying corpse and transforms it into a deadly bioweapon. But unbeknown to the military, they are not alone. The Colonel's son Kurt and his girlfriend Julie are also in the lab, and they too witness trioxin's incredible power. Fleeing in disbelief from what they have seen, the couple are involved in a horrific motorcycle smash, and Julie is killed. Kurt knows what he must do, bring the love of his life back from the dead using his father's secret weapon. But instead of the girl he knew, Julie is reincarnated as the living dead, an indestructible ghoul with a bite that turns her victims into zombies, hungry for human flesh.
It basically is a play-by-play then.
I wasn't kidding.
And so, I'd love everyone to just be able to view Sarah wafting herself with the DVD cover as soon as she'd finished reading it. Reading is thirsty work.
I'm so moist.
Can I start
It's not even
off?
funny.
Can I start off by saying, Kurt Reynolds? Really?
Yeah.
Was that intentional?
Bit on the nose. I have no idea. I hope so.
It made me laugh a lot. I also completely misread Trimark Pictures as Primark Pictures. So this is a budget film all the way across, as far as I'm concerned.
I was about to say, but budgetarily, is that even a word? You're not far wrong there.
And then they had music who I can only imagine is by a budget Danny Elfman, so it worked really well, like all the way through.
Yeah, we'll talk about the music later.
Oh, will we?
We'll mention it, yeah, amongst other things.
Give me your first impressions, having not seen it for a while and then rewatching it. Like, the beginning of it, did it all come flooding back, or were you like...
Some of it definitely did. Some of it was, like, ingrained in my head, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, do you know what? I enjoy this a lot more than I thought I did.
Yeah?
Because it's one I hadn't seen in, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 years.
Okay. It's definitely been a while, because I feel like we would have watched it together at some point, if not.
I'm sure I would have foisted this on you if I'd remembered.
I wish you did.
But yeah, it's a film I kind of remembered enjoying quite a lot, and obviously iconic for reasons we will get to.
Yeah, I mean, because it's completely different from the others in the franchise, isn't it?
Yeah, one thing I wanted to ask you actually is, obviously we did a show on Return of the Living Dead. Yeah. We all loved the ever-loving shit out of that film.
Obviously.
Have you seen Return of the Living Dead 2?
I haven't, but
Okay.
I'm under the impression that it's kind of more of the same of number 1.
I was about to say, if you've seen Return of the Living Dead, you've basically seen Return of the Living Dead 2. It's very much like... It's great. It's still, like, hugely enjoyable, but it's very much a rehash. They didn't do anything new.
Tarman and Tits 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, exactly that.
What more could you possibly want?
How did you know the...
What? How did I know there were what?
Never mind.
Tarman and Tits, I know.
But yeah, it's a very strange franchise.
Yeah,
and
I'm not sure what happened.
This one more than any of the others.
I'm not sure what happened with the production, because Trimark didn't do the first 2, did they?
I don't think so, no.
Okay. So they bought the rights to the 3rd.
I'm not exactly sure what happened. But I've seen all 5 of them. And this one...
Wait, there are 5?
Sticks out. There are 5, babe. So...
What on earth?
Do not watch 4 and 5. I implore you, do not watch 4 and 5.
Was I better off just thinking there were only 3?
Yeah. Go back to that. Those halcyon days. I'm so sorry that I ruined the whole show.
How could you?
Yeah, 4 and 5 are just very strange, very low budget, because they kind of consistently got kind of decent reviews and have a massive cult following, and then there's like 4 and 5 that we will not talk about. Don't mention it again. But yeah, 3 is... It's
a bit out of left field.
They keep the mythology.
Yes.
It is still a Return of the Living Dead film.
Yes.
They keep the mythology, and it is... actually, in terms of zombie lore, it's quite specific to this franchise.
Yeah. I mean, not so much in terms of like zombies needing to eat brains, but the whole idea of pain taking away the hunger, and in the first films, like eating brains took away the pain of being dead, kind of thing. So that isn't in other films so much at all that I've seen.
They haven't lost their humanity as much. They can communicate.
Yeah. And they recognize people.
And they're so much harder to kill.
They're impossible.
Like, legitimately terrifying.
Like, impossible to kill.
Yeah.
You can shoot their legs and arms off, and they're like, that was tricksy of you. I'm not... That's annoying. That's gonna sting. They're just not bothered about it at all.
So how much did you know about this film before you went in? Did you expect comedy?
Ish. Yes, I think so. Because I knew that it was a step aside from 1 and 2. And obviously 1 was like, it was quite comedic.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think I was probably expecting a comedy film that was just a bit bonkers and a bit weird.
It's definitely both of those things.
I mean, yeah, but it also has these really bizarre, admittedly 90s, very Hallmark, very kind of quite cringy, but these really like quite sweet, poignant moments within it.
It's effectively like a horror romance, though, isn't it?
It is, yeah. It's a zombie romance flick.
And it turns out the only kind of romance that I enjoy
is zombie romance.
Is horror romance.
I was about to say, because
when I think
Near Dark.
Near Dark, Spring as well.
Oh, I still need to see that.
You'd love it.
I think I would, yeah.
Horror romance.
I think I'd be all about that.
But yeah, I don't know. I like it when there's a tragic end. What can I say?
That doesn't surprise me, Sarah. I'll be honest.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You love a bit of tragedy. You love a bit of drama.
I think because it makes my life seem so much better by comparison, perhaps.
Oh my god.
It's like, yeah, I'm good.
Could be worse. Could be
a zombie.
Could be a zombie.
Yeah, I'm good.
In many ways, I feel like a zombie at the moment.
Yeah, same.
I'm not about it. Couple of things I noticed from like the beginning scenes. I don't think I've ever seen a pink laboratory. It is pink, isn't it? I'm not going mad.
You have now.
Well, arguably, yeah.
Is that the first thing you noticed?
Apart from the budget Danny Elfman music, yeah.
The first thing I noticed was I don't remember the first zombie.
Oh, the homeless guy. Apparently he was a homeless guy.
That they had to put up in a hotel and kept having increasingly outlandish demands.
Yeah, and he kept asking for limousines to take him to set. Like, to be more power to him, I say.
But on this film.
I know.
I'd have been very surprised if the budget stretched that far.
I've made the big time, guys.
Making those small bucks.
I'm travelling in a limousine. I didn't remember that guy being there, owing to the fact I haven't seen the film before. So he did remind me of a poor man's Leeloo Dallas, though.
Oh my god, the weird sort of bondage lederhosen thing. What was that about?
Like the strapping with the weird, like sort of muslin cod
I'm not okay with it. I'm not going to forget that in a while.
Why did he have to be naked? Mostly naked.
I don't know. Maybe that was one of his demands as well.
I guess you don't dress dead guys. But you do.
You should, for human decency.
I mean, they don't stop being naked. I was shocked and appalled. There was like an incredibly bad system of gas mask wearing as well. Like, their entire health and safety, like, regimen for that laboratory is fucked.
They're the equivalent of everyone I keep seeing in Sainsbury's wearing the masks under their noses.
Yeah. Like, they're working with incredibly dangerous chemicals, a cadaver. They are walking in and out of that room in their, like, hazmat suits. No decontamination unit. Not at all. Pointless. What are they doing? And that's going to ruin the variables. And then it's only when they're about to turn on the tap that they actually pull their mask down and become the Beastie Boys. Did you not? I was so waiting for them to bust in to check it out.
Now that's all I'm going to see. Thanks.
I was all about it. Jesus. I was so excited by that premise.
Do you know what, though? The Beastie Boys would have followed protocol.
The Beastie Boys would have followed protocol. You're absolutely right. Ad Rock would have been all up on it. They cut to what I can only describe as the 90s. That cutscene.
Ooh, blossom hats as far as the eye can see.
So 90s. Like, so... the tiny orange tinted glasses. The, like, leather jackets. The plaid shirt sitting on a Toyota pickup at Lookout Point or whatever it is.
All of this is sounding alarmingly like how we still dress. I'd just like to point out.
It's absolutely... You're correct. You would not be incorrect by stating that. We wear... Yeah, that's us. I don't have a blossom hat, though.
I don't anymore. I did when I was a kid. I had so
Did
many.
you?
Yeah, those floppy hats with the brims that go up at the front with, like, a flower to one side.
You are incredible.
I'm not. Honestly, my mum has photos. It's atrocious. The actual worst.
Some of the 90s was incredible, and some of the 90s was
Much of the 90s.
very bad.
Can stay in the 90s.
Yeah, I picked up the good bits of the 90s. We meet Julie. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the point where you meet Kurt as well, isn't it? Like, our protagonist.
Yeah.
Cut price Keanu Reeves. He is.
I don't know, I think he's probably a better actor.
You shut your whore mouth. How dare you? Keanu Reeves is a saint. And he's a very talented man.
Babe, I'm not disagreeing.
Did you not see him in The Matrix? He knows Kung Fu, Sarah.
Have you seen Man of Tai Chi?
Is that just someone doing Tai Chi for an hour and a half?
Oh, it's just this weird vanity project. It's so strange. Some of the martial arts in it is, you know, entertaining, but oof. Yikes. Big yikes.
I mean, Keanu Reeves is really good at shooting guns, and I don't know why I find that such a turn on, though. I'm not about guns, but Keanu Reeves going around a shooting range, I was involved.
I was about to say, I like the disclaimer that you're not about guns, because I was about to be like, when did my best mate get all red state on me?
Oh, no, I wouldn't. Yeah, so as said in the synopsis, they're going to go to the laboratories and watch this dead guy
laboratory. I can't say
Did he get out of my laboratory? But they go off on a motorbike and she's like, here, hold my hat. She like locks her hat behind her. Do you not want the hat?
I'm not gonna lie. Julie pre-death, kind of a dick.
Oh god, I hated her. Absolutely hated her. She was such a teenage girl.
Yeah. Except she looked 25, so it was weird.
I mean, they all looked 25.
True.
Apart... Well, you know the Mexicans?
Mm-hmm. Sort of. The weird gang that appeared to have no affiliation with one another, but yeah, fine.
Yeah. What age are they meant to be? Because they're playing Street Fighter in like a 7-Eleven or something.
What are you saying?
I mean...
Are you saying there's an age limit on video games? Because get out.
No, I'm saying that if they were proper adults, they would have bought snacks and drinks as well. So
Yeah,
you get out.
No.
Don't
Actually,
wanna.
can I? Can I? It's cooler out there.
But yeah, I couldn't work out how old they were meant to be. If they were meant to be like adults, and if they are adults, why are they chasing after teenagers?
They're clearly meant to be adults. One of them was like 50.
I love that guy. He might be my favourite character, and I will explain why later on.
Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Talking about trioxin.
Mm-hmm. Which they do in that 5-minute chunk of capital letters exposition.
Right? Like a neon sign of exposition. Where they explain how trioxin works, and why zombies need to eat brains, but also we were going to use trioxin, and I quote, on the war on marijuana.
Yeah, suddenly it goes all reefer madness. I don't know.
How? How?
What? Is this a genuine question?
Yeah.
Because I don't have an answer for you.
Why do you not have any answers for me tonight?
I don't know, I was really hoping it was rhetorical.
Are they little canisters that they spray at people smoking weed?
What, like when you spray water at a cat when it's like eating a plant?
Yeah, like, no, stop it. You're being silly.
Yes.
And then they get a little bit zombified.
But why? How does that benefit anyone?
If they're already alive, does it make them more alive? Or does it just turn them into a zombie?
I don't know if that's ever been explored.
This film
No,
asked
wait. No.
so many more questions.
Because assuming it's exactly the same mythology as the first,
Yeah.
then, wait, alive people can get infected, right? Because it's airborne. No?
So you can get infected by trioxin or by getting bitten.
Yeah, I think so.
And if you're dead, then it brings you back to life. But
Yeah.
if you're alive, then it kills you.
Yeah, effectively.
No, see, scientific. I call bullshit.
On which bit specifically?
on that one bit. I've never made card work in a swiping machine by licking it. Like, I've blown on games cartridges to get them to work in like a SNES.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah, but when have you ever taken an ID card that hasn't swiped and licked it?
That suggestively as well.
Ah.
She didn't just lick it, she like licked it. She went there.
Oh. It was great. I don't like watching people licking things.
Is that a newfound turn off for you?
No, that's an always turn off. I've never sorry, do you remember a time where I've enjoyed somebody licking something? Oh, God,
It's never
Rosie.
a conversation that we've had.
Why are you like
Phrasing. I don't know, but never change.
Fuck's sakes. It's too hot. It's hot in the worm, Bernard.
Mate, stop making me laugh when I've just taken a sip of my drink. The mini-sode was fine. You can't do it in the main show. Oh, it's burning.
I apologise. Many apologies. I'm not sorry at all.
We've reached delusion. Like,
yeah, we're 25 minutes in and we've reached delusion. Fuck.
It's too fucking warm.
The kids say that stuff is creepy, like burning a human leg. That's apparently that's the state of their shock and anguish. It's just, that's creepy.
That's their barometer for creepy.
Yeah, at one point they call it warped.
They see a lot of really weird stuff that they don't react appropriately to.
I mean...
And you know my issue with this.
I know that you have quite a big issue with this, and I agree with you wholeheartedly. I mean, going by the ending, which I don't necessarily want to jump straight to...
No.
It didn't surprise me that they weren't surprised.
Okay.
They seem to be remarkably calm throughout this film.
Yeah, like, I think I wrote a quote at one point when they're sort of witnessing what's happening in the facility, and they're just like, I don't know, could have been a mental patient. Bro, it's still fucking weird.
Also, how much do you hate mental patients? If you think it's alright to strap them up and shoot them in the head with what looks like the head of a biro. That's not okay, man.
No.
That gun is also the slowest thing I've ever seen. You have to wait for 5 seconds for it to charge up for every shot.
Yeah. There's a lot of flaws in their plan.
And miraculously, when they're shooting that gun, everything else just kind of stops. They're like, oh, better give them a chance. Give them 5 seconds for their gun to charge up, and then we can start being zombies again.
Yeah. That's how it works. Science.
That's the point where you find out Julie is weirdly turned on by reanimated dead guys.
Yep.
She loves it. She loves a bit of it.
She's weirdly turned on by a lot of strange things.
I feel like Julie is exactly the kind of teenager who is weird for the sake of being weird.
Oh yeah, 100% try hard.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And they're like, oh, a guy getting his dick shot off. Oh, that's the coolest thing in the world. Oh, that's so sexy. Yeah, that totally turns me on.
Like, if that had been in Strangeland... In fact,
God.
Do you know what? So much of this film, the transformation in particular, could have been lifted wholesale from Strangeland.
Oh God, it absolutely could have done.
Is this... Oh no, is this another Edgelord the movie? Is this Edgelord the movie too? Fuck.
I kind of want to watch that again.
No. Didn't we give it Phil?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
Because I had to go to great expense to buy a Region 1 on eBay just to be able to watch it. And I think we like snuck it in his bag.
Yeah, you had to purge it from your household.
Yeah, I didn't want it. I felt unclean.
I am a particular fan. No, this is Edgelord the movie, and do you know why? Because apart from Julie, Kurt has this dream of moving to Seattle and getting a house on the water, and being a drummer in a band when he's never played drums.
Which his dad quite rightly tells him is a fucking ridiculous pipe dream.
But I wrote down that line. I even put up with you wanting to be a rock and roll drummer. Oh, such a 90s phrase. A rock and roll drummer. I love it. But yeah, in what world, on what planet can you be a garage band touring drummer and afford an apartment in Seattle along the waterfront?
I don't know. Sid Vicious couldn't play bass. Neither did right until he didn't.
He makes adverts for butter. Oh no, that's Johnny Rotten. That's a totally different guy.
Yeah, he's still alive, Rosie.
Oh, a different punk altogether. Sorry, not sorry. That's hilarious. Oh, for fuck's sakes. I'm not dealing with life very well.
It's the heat. We'll just blame it on the heat again. So, can we talk quickly about Julie's death scene?
Oh, and how it influenced Hereditary.
I literally wrote in my notes, you see the truck and you think she's about to get Pet Semataried, but no, she gets Hereditaried. And then I started to think about all the other parallels with Pet Sematary.
Okay.
Like bringing a loved one back from the dead.
Yes.
That's like...
Was that it?
That's...
So many parallels. Reanimation.
Fred Gwyn's there, looking all creepy. No.
Brian Yuzna's a bit of a fan of Reanimation, isn't he? Because he produced Reanimator.
Well, there's like a group of them that all work together, because Brian Yuzna has worked with Stuart Gordon, who did the first Reanimator.
Yeah.
And Charles Band quite a lot.
Yeah.
And did one of them produce this? I feel like there was some crossover on this one.
There might well have been. I know that Tremblay had something to do with it.
But yeah, they're all mates. Tremblay. They all work on each other's projects.
Weird clique.
Yeah, I mean,
horror clique.
Yeah, because like Stuart Gordon did Robot Jox, which was produced by Charles Band, and like Brian Yuzna.
Of course it was.
Yeah, they've all got their hands in each other's pockets.
They've
it's
all got
weird,
their fingers in each other's pies.
I'm glad you said pies. I wondered where you were going with that.
Sarah, honestly, this is a family show.
Is it?
Absolutely not.
I wouldn't want my family listening to it.
I live in constant fear that one day my family will. Or they don't give a fuck. They never will. It'll be fine.
My dad has listened to the show.
Was it the one where we talked about fisting?
We don't speak of it. It's the elephant in the room when I visit.
Oh, no.
I don't think he gives a shit.
But yeah, I wrote, oh no, Julie. Ari Aster influenced.
I mean, yeah?
Like the thud.
Clunk.
Fadoof.
It was... Can I be honest? I don't think that scene had the impact that they were hoping for.
I think they were hoping for a Hereditary type impact.
Yeah, like a shocking moment, but it was just like this clumsy clunk. And then she like sort of hits it and like slides down like cartoon style.
Like a bird on a glass door.
Yeah.
Oh no, she splooted it.
Ew.
Sploot. Kurt seems, again, remarkably, like, chill about the whole thing. He's obviously upset.
Because he's been to the Keanu Reeves School of Acting.
He has been to the Keanu Reeves School of Acting, so he's obviously upset, and he's like, no, you said you'd never leave me. Which, honestly, I think is a very, like, self-centered way of looking at things. She's just died.
Victim blaming the dead.
Right?
Come on.
He's like, you promised you wouldn't leave me. That, I mean, and that's not the first time he's an arse. One time, he's trying to wake her up from, like, jumping in a river later on. He just full-on slaps her around the face.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he goes, cry, 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 I'm very upset, for approximately 7 seconds. Mm-hmm. And then that glint from the card magically reaches his eye, and he goes, I know what I must do. Scene.
That was the best recreation. I think it was better.
Thanks, mate. I think it was better, to be fair.
Yeah.
And he gets straight in with that card, so presumably it still has her spit on it.
Ew.
Spitty. He treats her like absolute shit. That when they get into the facility, he puts her down in the corner to like hide her. And did you notice that he gets up and like leans on her head to get up, and then ruffles her hair before he goes.
I mean, what's she going to do at that point?
Dude, respect the dead.
She was a knob.
If I
She was a knob. She caused the accident.
By grabbing his junk.
Yep. There's a time and a place, and that ain't it.
You look so serious when you said that.
I am. Serious business.
Serious cock business.
Road safety, Rosie.
They didn't have any because they were too busy grabbing each other's bits.
Exactly. And look where it got them.
Reanimated. That's what happens. And grab junk on the highway.
This whole film could like double as an after school special.
Yeah, it's got so many decent moral stories going on in it. He manages to just not be seen by anybody. Where is all the security in this building? I know they use a bit of exposition at the beginning to be like, oh, you know, the government's cut the funding, aren't they a big load of bastards? But literally, there's nobody working there.
Well, we've already established that this is like the Mickey Mouse of scientific facilities.
They may as well be wearing the plastic glasses with the little fake tashes.
Yeah.
Whilst they're conducting experiments. Then there is... Yes. He trioxins her.
Mm-hmm.
And suddenly there is squelching. I've literally written, suddenly squelching.
Yep.
And then Mullet Tar Man turns up.
I kind of love Mullet Tar Man.
Big fan
of him. That was a cool effect.
Where he, like, rips his hand away from his face.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
I'm all about that.
That airlock is the most pitiful thing I think I've ever seen. He, like, coughs near it and it opens. He's also really good at interrupting very serious moments between Julie and Kurt. Every time that she's like, oh my god, I'm dead. I was dead and you brought me back to life. And he's like, hi guys. They have a little fight, put him behind an airlock again. Yeah, sorry, you died and I brought you back to life. Oh my god, I can't believe you've done this. Hi guys.
And they said this wasn't a comedy.
The effects with him were amazing. I'm not entirely sure who did them, because didn't they have like 5 effects teams? They had like 5 effects companies.
Yeah, because that's where a lot of the money went, obviously.
Which I think is amazing, considering it's like the film took less than a month to make.
Yeah, was it 24 days of shooting, I think?
Yeah, 24 days like shooting schedule.
Which is crazy for a film with this many like practical effects.
Well, you know, maybe it would have been longer, but they had to use all their budget paying for limousines for Clarence.
Was he called Clarence?
His name's Clarence. Clarence Eppington or something. Epperson?
That's amazing.
Something like that.
Does he have any more credits? I
kind of feel like when they'd finished shooting, they were like, you are a problematic homeless man, back on the streets you go.
Oh, that's quite sad.
Well, they put him into a hotel whilst they were filming. But I don't think they carried on paying for the hotel when they were done filming.
Oh.
So Clarence could still be on the mean streets of California.
So there's over 20 people listed for special effects, and I don't recognise a single name. So I'm wondering if they got loads of interns on the cheap.
If they did, then they did an amazing job.
Oh, hell yeah.
Like, the FX on this is spot on.
I mean, everybody's got to start somewhere. That's how Greg Nicotero started.
That's
he
true.
Ended up with a connection to Tom Savini and George Romero. And
yeah, because he learnt under Tom Savini, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, what an amazing guy. Love a bit of Greg Nicotero.
I know. He's great.
I keep saying tonight. I'm really aware of it, and it's upsetting me.
It's the heat, babe.
I'm sorry. I don't like it. I need an ice cream.
I need a swimming pool.
There is only one person in this film that I dislike more than I dislike human Julie.
Okay, which one?
And that is Sinclair.
Which one was Sinclair?
Colonel Sinclair, the woman who...
Oh, with the really pinched face.
Yeah, the shrew.
She's such a bitch. Yeah, I didn't like her either. And every single scene that she's in, she's like, I think I might tell the Queen that I'm going to take over the science. And they're like, no, don't fucking do that. And she's like, maybe I'll do it anyway. Oh, I hate her. But somehow more obnoxious than that.
She's a crafty bitch, and I'm glad that she dies. Spoiler alert, she dies, and it's really painful. Good. Every film, I have one person who I'm like, I hope you die first.
She didn't. It took ages.
But oh, how I hoped.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, she was awful. Interestingly, it's normally a man that I hate most in the film.
Okay.
I don't know why specifically, but it's generally like a really annoying guy that I don't like in a film. But this was very much like all the characters that I didn't like were women. Maybe all the women I didn't like. I don't think I liked any women in this movie.
No, but I like Living Dead Julie. She's
great. Yeah, she was awesome. But also,
everyone else,
not living.
Yeah, true. Okay. Living women.
All the living women. Hated them. The blonde woman who was working in the lab, she was alright. But she said like 3 words. She doesn't count.
Can take her or leave her.
Give them all a good dose of trioxin, that's what I say. Basically, the film from that point onwards, where she wakes up and she starts on a sort of transformative journey into becoming awesome Julie. She's just really hangry.
We've all been there.
Like, babe, same.
Yeah, it's actually just a really relatable film about a woman that wants lunch.
Yeah. Like, it really feels like the manifestation of Julie is like how I feel when I have really bad PMT. Just super angry, very hungry, scared a lot, cries a lot.
But you would not have wasted the Twinkies.
No, absolutely not. I wouldn't have spat them out. Also, too much spitting in this film. Come on, guys. That's not necessary.
Spitting's always gross.
It's, I'm not... It's so unsanitary.
The only time it's acceptable in a horror film is when it's Brundlefly.
I mean,
and even then,
that's more, vomiting.
I mean, we should probably not get into the particulars of what kind of bodily fluid it is.
Why you gotta make it weird, Sarah?
How did I make it weird? I'm not taking the blame for that one.
Oh, god damn it. Yeah, she spits out all of her food, and then the guy picks up all the packaging and just puts it back on the shelf.
Oh, I thought that. So rude.
Like, that's not okay. That's not sanitary. He's gonna have to disinfect that. Especially considering her bite turns people into zombies.
Yeah. You can get prosecuted for that these days.
Tiny zombie Twinkies.
That girl who filmed herself going into the supermarket in America and, like, licking the ice cream and putting it back on the shelf.
What the fuck?
She got arrested, man.
Good.
Well, yeah,
even if there wasn't a pandemic.
Oh, no, this was pre-pandemic. Maybe that's what caused it.
Is she?
Fuck,
Is she
she's patient zero. Oh.
Typhoid Mary herself.
Oh my god. We've just cracked it.
Typhoid Dairy Queen.
Call CNN.
Oh. Call the police. I want a crime reference number for this shit. No surprise with the police shooting first, just saying.
Yeah. Very timely.
Yeah, didn't ask any questions. Didn't say, stop there, we want to talk to you about why you're leaving the store. Just blam, blam, blam. Blam, blah, 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 blah. It just, I mean, honestly, that entire sequence just seemed like a really bad date. Like, she just decided she was hungry, got really cross, and then somebody died.
Oh, you think that's a really... Have you ever been on a date where somebody's ended up dead?
Sarah, I think that's a fucking terrible date. Do you not think that's a bad date?
No,
is
but
that like...
You're saying it like you have some experience of it.
Well, I couldn't possibly comment. But you're talking like, oh, you think that's a bad day? Oh, you have no idea what a bad day is. I lost both my legs. No, I have never...
Objectively, that would be a terrible date.
I've never killed a man, if that's what you're asking.
Yeah, you're only saying that because you know you're being recorded. That's
my
the
lawyer
official
says,
line, is it?
My lawyer says that I have to state for the record that I have never killed a man.
Sure.
God damn it. I was put up against one of my pet hates in the driving sequence, which happens every single fucking time in films. They drive down a back road and then they like turn left or something. They drive up to a dead end and then they go, oh shit, it's a dead end. So how bad is your eyesight? How did you not look down that alley and go, no way through there, and carry on going? Why did you have to turn into it, go all the way up to the boxes and go, oh no?
You don't think that's realistic?
I think it's realistic for you and me because we can't see shit.
I was just about to say, you've seen me trying to look at stuff on my phone. It's like an inch from my face.
We are both very blind, but
Yes.
But for a person who... I mean, maybe he should be wearing glasses and he isn't, and that's the problem.
I think you've nailed it, yeah. It's
he
just
didn't
one
actually
giant
know what
advert
he was
for
looking at.
Specsavers. This could all have been avoided.
A cautionary tale from your local opticians.
Should have gone to Specsavers.
The policemen that they have, the extras that they have to have been just some random guys that were on the street. Like, if they can pick up a homeless guy to be a reanimated cadaver, then I'm pretty sure that those two policemen who are, like, scoping out the van are just someone they found and went, do you want to be in a film?
Do you think everyone in this film is a vagrant? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, they no. No, I think that one particular man is a vagrant. I think everyone else is a bit like the guy who accidentally walked onto the BBC News set and sat down and got interviewed.
Yeah, okay. I could buy that.
They just kind of wandered in thinking it was like an indoor market or something, and they got rushed through makeup and costume and then put on set.
Oh my god. That makes an alarming amount of sense.
Right?
You've just explained every strange performance in this film.
They had no idea they were making a film. That's why.
I like to call that the Michael Sarah effect.
Yes, absolutely.
When you just look like you've wandered on set and someone's gone, action.
Julie tries to kill herself. Right, there are... I don't quite know what point I want to make here.
Okay. Interesting.
But I'm going to try and muddle it out. because I've been mulling this over.
Mm-hmm.
There are quite a few very hard and heavy subjects in this film.
Yeah.
There's like the death of Kurt's mother,
Mm-hmm.
and the clear sort of grief and tragedy that surrounds that in terms of the family dynamic. There's whatever Julie's backstory is, because it sounds like her mum is like not there, or you know, she lives like basically alone. And then there's this whole thing where like Julie is reanimated and then attempts suicide.
Yep.
And then obviously the massive sort of deal with self-harm in order to forget emotions that you don't necessarily want to have.
Mm-hmm. Do you think all that was intentional then? Or do you think all of that was there because they were trying to be a bit edgelordy?
Honestly, I wanted it to be the first. I feel like it's kind of the latter. And
I feel
because
like it's the latter.
it's all a little bit ham-fisted.
Mm-hmm. And not to undersell what Brian Yuzna has done, but I don't get, like, there's not much depth to his films.
No, it's fun on the face of it for what it is, which is why I find that quite a weird dialectic. I feel that having such heavy issues, in some films the comedy gives them brevity and makes them easier to deal with.
Yeah.
I feel like in this, don't get me wrong, like I loved this film, I thought it was excellent, but as soon as you start thinking about it, those two points of like comedy and heavy subject matter just kind of butt up against each other.
Yeah, but that's why I'm glad that this was played completely straight. Even like, for all its like stupidity, it's ludicrous.
Funny moments.
Yeah, but it never felt comedic.
Yeah.
Like, to me, this was played completely straight.
Yeah, I mean, there were bits that were funny about this film because they were silly, not because they were meant to be funny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I find it, so many words. None of them are coming out.
Good at words.
I'm terrible at words today. Really, really bad. I find it a really weird sort of mashup of the two, because they never really delve into any of it. Mm-hmm. There are just scenes where Julie is hurting herself, says that, there's quite gratuitous self-harming as part of her transformation. And the more I kind of think about it and mull it over, the more I'm like, I understand that Brian, that's what I call him now, Brian, my mate, he wanted to really expand on like the 90s being quite a time of actual body modification and like tattoos and piercings becoming way more mainstream and way more commonplace, and he kind of wanted to like buy into that a little bit, and this idea of like people modifying themselves and being transformed into something more than what they were before. But I feel like in doing that he kind of neglected the potential pitfalls of having such gratuitous self-harming on screen.
I will agree with that. I remember watching a film called Some Kind of Hate at Fright Fest years ago now, and it's a film directed by, I think he's called Adam Egypt Mortimer, and he was present for the screening and did a Q&A after. Wore his sunglasses the whole time. What a dick.
Oh, what a prick.
Yeah. But he got really defensive because there was like really gratuitous self-harm, and it wasn't just glorified, it was sexualized, and it was really deeply irresponsible.
No, I'm not okay with that at all.
And he got really shitty when people asked him questions about it after the screening. Oh, it was such a shit show. And it kind of, reminded me of that a little bit. Like, if you're gonna do it, that's not the sort of thing... Yes, it's shocking, and horror is largely about shock factor in some cases.
If you're going to do it, it needs to be done responsibly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I worry a little bit that this was erring more on the glamorizing side of things.
Yeah, I agree with you. To play devil's advocate, one thing I will say is that I think it was so ridiculous that it's not likely to result in, like, copycats. Like, it's so out there.
No, I don't think that people are gonna be triggered by I don't think people are gonna copycat, but I think people might
potentially
actually
triggering,
be triggered by it.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But I don't know, despite that, I still absolutely love that transformation scene. And I think in large part that's because it's so incredibly informed by Hellraiser.
Right?
That,
oh my god.
Which is, in essence, one of the reasons that I love the zombies in this franchise. Because obviously, the Cenobites used to be human. Yeah. And they have forgotten their humanity and gone through these horrific transformations and are now unrecognisable. And that was like...
Because they were too sexy.
Yeah, and Julie was just like, Cenobite, but make it sexy. But I think that's one of the reasons that I love the zombies in these movies, because it's one of the rare examples of just there's a constant reminder that they were human. They kind of humanized the monster, which I love.
Yeah, that's always a really sort of heartwarming part of films like this. Like... you can be othered, you can be the freak, you can be the monster, and you can still be very much part of the human condition.
Well, yeah, and also it's an argument for, like, what's in their nature, they can't help it. They're not evil, they're just made that way. But, like, in the first Return of the Living Dead, when they've kind of strapped that half cadaver, the half zombie to the gurney, and they're asking it questions, and she's kind of, explaining the whole... It hurts, so we have to eat brains to make the hurt less. And she's like, I can feel myself rotting. I love that. It's so cool. But, like, I used to be mad into zombie movies, and I kind of fell off because it just became so saturated that I got a bit bored. But I think that's one of the best kind of examples of zombies in fiction. Just... the reasoning, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I completely agree with you. I think the lore within this film is, like, weirdly one of the soundest.
It's kind of a unique take on it.
Yeah, and they are not, like, super fast running zombies, which I'm like, nah, you wouldn't be a super fast running zombie. Whatever, I don't agree with that. They did it well in Dawn of the Dead, but the rest of it can fuck off.
What to you is the scariest type of zombie? Is it, like, the shuffling kind of somnambulist traditional, like, they shuffle, I don't but you get overwhelmed because there are so many of them, or like the speedy ones, or the zombies in these films where they've kind of got a glimpse of that humanity. Like I said, obviously in the first one, they get on the blower and, like, order more brains, don't they?
Send more brains.
Yeah, the whole, like,
send more paramedics, yeah.
That's it, yeah. So they're not
that was such a good band.
Send more paramedics were great.
Oh, they were so good.
Yeah.
I went to a Halloween show and saw Send More Paramedics and Gallows and November Coming Fire, I think. It was a really good show.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Anyway, you were saying.
But yeah, like, they have their wits about them, and it's not in a clumsy kind of Land of the Dead way where one of them knows how to use firearms and... Do you know what I mean? I think it's done really well. Yeah. I think you can retain some humanity but not have it be cringy.
Okay. Bub doesn't scare me.
Bub's adorable.
Well, that's why he doesn't scare me.
Is Bob your
Night of the
favourite
Living
zombie?
Or I don't know about that.
Because mine would be Tarman.
No, my favourite zombie is Bill Murray zombie in Zombieland.
That's a really good shout.
He's a really good zombie.
I wouldn't even have thought of that.
He's a good zombie.
Okay.
Not your classic zombie, but yeah. What zombie do I find the scariest? Okay, so Night of the Living Dead, I think, like the black and white kind of early, I think, was the first zombie film I ever saw. And that did unnerve me at the time. I wouldn't say I was scared. And as time's gone on, I've very much been like, you just need a big fucking baseball bat. You just twat them round the head.
Not in
push
this,
them
though.
over and run away.
But this is why I think the Return of the Living Dead zombies are the scariest.
No, I agree with you. I think they are the scariest because the ones that run and are like 28 days later, you know, like viral zombies, I would call them, I guess. Yes, they're terrifying, but they don't actually seem like they've got super strength.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So once you've got yourself barricaded away in a safe place that they can't get to, and they don't tend to hunt in packs either necessarily. Like, obviously there's a huge horde of them, that's one thing, but they tend to be single entities.
A huge horde of anything
scary.
Would be terrifying. If there was a huge horde of like hedgehogs.
A huge horde of ducklings.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a great way to die, but terrifying.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, 100,000 ducklings coming at you all at once? Oh, you've got your hands on your face, like that would be the best thing ever.
I think I'd die happy.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Or like 100,000 kittens.
Yeah, you would just be like, oh my god, no.
Oh no, too many.
Yeah.
100,000 golden retriever puppies all licking your face at once.
Do you know what? One golden retriever is too many. They're just too much.
They are quite a lot, aren't they? They're adorable though. I fucking love them. Yeah, I would agree with you. Return of the Living Dead zombies are probably up there with the scariest. I'm sure there's some that we've forgotten about.
Yeah, probably.
Like some specific kind of really fucking scary zombie.
Conceptually, though, I think these guys take it.
Like, I think it's the intelligence and the slight whisper of humanity that emphasises how much their animalistic side has taken over. And how their empathy is, like, massively waning. So it's not like they never had empathy and they're not human. It's like they were and now there's something completely different. And I find that quite scary.
Speaking of animalistic, can we talk about post-transformation Julie? Because I kind of love her performance as Living Dead Julie.
Yeah, I mean, there's a fair amount of interpretive dance at the beginning.
It goes a little bit...
Not gonna lie.
It goes a bit the OA.
goes a bit Kate Bush. But yeah, she looks absolutely incredible. Would be the most kick-ass Halloween outfit.
And make a great tattoo.
It would make a great tattoo.
A Halloween costume. You'd have to have your tits out.
Yeah, not my tits, darling. I don't think that'd be a good idea for anyone.
Oh, I don't know. It'd be cold in October, though.
I've got enough padding, it's fine. What? Oh, you look so sad. Julie is really badass. And is suddenly also really good at killing people, which makes me think, how good was she at killing people beforehand?
There's a lot we don't know about Julie.
You know,
like you said, her backstory
Julie
is only ever hinted at, so who knows. But I like that moment at which, like previously, she we talked about the self-harm. She's kind of been jabbing things into herself to kind of numb the pain that she's feeling. But there comes a point where it starts to feel functional.
Yeah.
Like she's basically she's turning herself into a weapon.
Yeah, exactly.
And I kind of love that.
She uses the pain she's inflicting on herself to distract from the hunger that she feels to enhance herself.
Yeah.
Which is awesome, and really it's kind of a really good allegory. Like, take what causes you pain and make yourself better from it.
Yeah.
I kind of love that. And she, weirdly, for me anyway, at the point that she transforms, and she does have this like incredibly animalistic side to her, this incredibly like feral side, she actually becomes more human in my eyes.
Do you think?
Yeah, I really do. Like, so she has this kind of
but because she's been like reactionary and protective.
I not so much, more from the point of view of like she has this spurt of like killing people. Obviously she kills the river dude,
river man,
the river dance man.
Michael Flatley.
Yeah, she kills Michael Flatley. And eats his brains, and like that was the bit that shocked me in all of the film. That was the bit I audibly gasped at. I hated that because he is so awesome.
He was a good dude.
Might be one of my favourite. But after that, she suddenly becomes like very scared, very vulnerable, even with all of this weaponry on her. Even though she is a human weapon, she's like so vulnerable and so terrified. And so open, finally, and like showing her true self. And I find that to be like the most human that she is in the entire film.
Because she's sort of driven by necessity, rather than any of sort of the...
She loses the edge
frivolities. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ironic.
And there's one part where she gets slapped awake from jumping off the bridge, and she says, "I'm not alive, I'm not dead, I'm just so lonely."
Ugh, relatable.
And I was like, "Oh, babe, same." Oh, sweetheart, no.
Hashtag pandemic life.
Right. Oh, that was... yeah. I thought that her character not only physically transformed, but kind of mentally transformed into way more than the sum of its parts, you know? Like, and she's excellent. She was an excellent actress all the way through it. I think that was cast so well. I think that she really sort of took that role and made it her own, definitely. I can't think of anyone who would have done a better job necessarily.
No. And
Can you?
No. Oh, I was just about to say it's kind of weird given that it's somebody who went on to play a mum on the OC.
Oh god, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Right. The Mexicans.
Oh, fucking hell. Do we have to? Go on.
For a start, he wakes somebody up. His name is Santos. Santos is the big daddy of that group. And he wakes the riverman up by going, "Wake up, caca." I was like, okay, I can't, like, what?
Yeah. Well, I was watching it with my housemate and I was like, did he just call that man poo?
Oh, wake up, poo.
What just happened?
I was very shocked.
Also,
by that.
why wasn't that Danny Trejo?
Right. Absolutely, he was too busy making donuts. But his death, you don't see it, but his death transforms him from a shitty, misogynistic, like calling women bitches, kind of like awful man that you definitely want to die. And then he's dead and he turns into what I can only describe as a giraffe essay, and he is incredible. He starts off by going hola senors, like with his spinal column hanging out. How?
Question.
His vocal cords aren't...
Question.
Yes.
Have you ever seen a long Furby?
Yes,
Tumblr would have been all over this guy.
Right? Shit. That's amazing. Yes, 100% yes. But basically, for the rest of the film that he's alive, I mean, he arguably...
Sort of alive.
He's... Yeah. But, like, for the rest of the film, every single time you see him, whether he's, like, hooked up in a science lab, or whether he's being carried around, or whether he's just lying on the floor, he's like, "Como esta, bitches?" And I'm like, oh my god, I fucking love you. You're the best. He gives no fucks about the fact that he is a spinal column with a head on it now.
I mean, what have you got left to lose?
He loves that life. He doesn't seem bothered about being a zombie. He doesn't seem, completely concerned about it at all. He's just like, "What's up, fuckers? Here I am.
I love it.
Suck my non-existent dick."
Prior to that, though, when she kind of goes to seduce him before she kills him...
Oh, when she's being all sexy.
And he's just like, "Oh, kinky." Like, I am not one to kink shame, but who would see that woman and go, "Yeah, go on then." Come on. You'd be like... You
look suitably unhinged.
I think anybody in their right mind would be like, "Madam, do you need a hospital?"
Yeah. You seem like you've damaged yourself quite severely.
Yeah.
You need medical attention. Not... "I'm going to put my knife away because you look like my kind of bitch."
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that guy. Santos, you are an odd man. Hola, senors. So I read a bit of trivia that said that Kurt Reynolds, whatever his fucking name is.
Kurt, not Bert.
The actor was convinced that he got his role to play Kurt because of the many times that he had played Romeo.
Okay.
And that was point A. B was, out of all of the characters in this film, including the ones that just walked onto set, I feel like Kurt was maybe my least...
One of the weak links.
Not least favourite, but yeah, he was... Because I don't like weak men.
Is this going to turn into some anti-simp rant?
No! He's such a wuss. Come on. And every time she does something, every time she's like, "I'm hungry," he's like, "Shut up." And every time she eats someone's brains, he's like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you just did that." Instead of, like, I don't know, killing her or taking her back to the lab, or like at the point where she literally kills somebody and eats their brains, I would be concerned. I would maybe be a bit angry that she ate my friend's brains.
Question.
But he's like, "Oh, what have I done? Oh, I can't believe I've done this. Oh, no."
If you were in love with somebody and they died, and you had access to something that would reanimate them, would you? If you weren't... If you were, like, reasonably informed about the risks.
So if I knew they were going to turn into, like, a snappy...
If you knew there was the potential for
hungry zombie, hungry hippos...
Yeah.
Then... no, probably not, actually.
No, I wouldn't.
I don't think that's any quality of life. Also, I'd get really pissed off with somebody being like, "I'm hungry," all the time. I get that enough from you.
I am hungry all the time. I don't get hangry though. I deal with it far better than Julie did.
You don't get hangry, you're right. I don't actually need to keep a packet of crisps in my bag at all times.
Mate, I've always got snacks in my bag.
That's why you never get hangry.
Yeah. Protein bars on me at all times.
It's the right thing to do. God, where... Oh, you know I said earlier that Clarence was a poor man's Leeloo Dallas.
Yeah.
At the end, where Julie is in her, like, specimen cage or whatever.
In the bondage lederhosen.
Slightly less budget Leeloo Dallas. Like, slightly higher budget.
Yeah, slightly less.
It's like three steps of Leeloo Dallas.
Like,
it goes Mila Jovovich.
Yeah. Then...
And then it goes...
Slightly dodgy cosplay.
Slightly dodgy cosplay, and then it goes literal vagrant they got off the street and put in strapping.
Yes.
And then, fucking... Right, this is another reason why I don't like her. Every single time he goes into that fucking science lab, he causes an outbreak. They just let him wander around in, like, a level 4 containment facility and just, you know, open doors, let zombies out.
The Beastie Boys
kill
would never
all
have
the
stood
staff.
for this.
They wouldn't. At least they'd done a proper risk assessment. They would have done. I am not happy with Kurt's performance. And his dad's still like, oh, you know, I'm really sorry that you stole my key card and you broke into a containment facility and you saw classified information and you let zombies out and you caused a potential, like, nationwide outbreak and your girlfriend died. But do you want to go on a fishing trip?
Priorities, man.
He's like, I'm really sorry I haven't been there for you. As if it's, like, his fault that his child is so fucking stupid.
Maybe it is. Maybe it was nurture and not nature. Maybe he's a dick because his dad was a dick.
But now his dad wants to take him on a holiday, so it's fine.
Too little, too late, my dude. The shit's already hit the fan.
I have written, Kurt, you big bell end, at one point in my notes.
Appropriate.
I think that was the point where he got, bitten.
Oh, yeah. I just want to briefly mention Return of Riverman. In his
River dude.
Badass exoskeleton.
Heavy badass exoskeleton.
Yeah, what was it, like over 70 pounds or something?
75 pounds.
Oof.
75 pounds is like, I think 4.5 stone or something. My maths is awful, but
not all heroes.
Heavy.
Not all heroes wear capes. Some of them wear exoskeletons.
No, some of them wear. Yeah. But he looks awesome in that exoskeleton, and it's clearly like it's definitely like a prototype as well. It's definitely Mark 1 of exoskeleton. I find it bizarre how they keep on talking about how they can just keep going, like endless zombies. Meat batteries, they call them. Metal cages fueled by meat batteries. I hate it.
Do you?
I hate every single part of it. Meat batteries. Oh, it's horrible. No. But all they have to do is take a gun and shoot his legs out, and then he fell over and can't move anymore. That's not a meat battery. That's a person. That's a person with their legs shot off. How is he meant to... And he's got a bloody great switch on the back to turn him on and off. They just need to get round. They just need to get behind him.
Have you tried turning it off and on again?
But they just need to switch him off and then, like, take him out by the knees. You know when you were a kid and like somebody would come up behind you and just knee you in the back of the knee so that you'd fall backwards?
What the fuck school did you go to?
Surely that wasn't... Was that just us?
It may have been, yeah. And I was bullied.
So was I. They like... Okay, so there's this kind of pressure point in the back of your knee where if you put your knee cap against like the very top of someone's calf and just nudge it, then it unlocks their knee and they like crumple.
You're going to do that to me next time I see you, aren't you? I know you're
No, I'm not, because you'll be expecting it. I'm going to wait a few times and then do it.
Oh, I see. You'll wait until I've forgotten. I get it.
Hell yeah, it won't take that long.
Fair.
Mine's all filled up with film trivia.
There's no room for anything else. What can I say?
But yeah, I used to have that done to me quite a lot. Oh, I thought that was like a whole thing. Do I just know dickheads?
Maybe.
These people said they were my friends.
It could be that, yes.
Fuck. Oh.
So to kind of skip a little bit ahead to the end.
Yes.
Did you... I mean, I'm guessing you knew there was never going to be a happy ending.
Well,
they were never going to walk off into the sunset together.
No, well, I mean, they came pretty close. They walked into an incinerator. It's quite hot.
I mean, yeah.
Right, which brings me to my point of how chilled out were they whilst they were burning alive?
Very.
Where were the...
I'd never know what's rhetorical.
Where were the pained screams and the blistering skin and the oh god, it burns, please, my eyes, get me out of it. No,
she's
scraping
hardcore.
on the walls or...
She, like...
Yeah, he's not.
She pierced her own neck, for God's sake, and didn't flinch.
He's a fucking wetty. He's nonsense.
Yeah.
He's an absolute Jesse, and I can't... No, his transformative section of turning into a strong-willed person extends so far as telling his dad, I'm not going to go to Oklahoma City with you. I'm going to be a drummer. And then walking into an incinerator.
Yeah, he was a bit of a yoghurt. I'll give you that.
White, bland, bit sour.
Yeah.
Absolute fucking yoghurt. TM. Yeah. That's my point. That was my point.
Did you anticipate the movie ending that way?
No.
You didn't? Because, I mean, like...
Who anticipates people just burning themselves to death?
Well, I don't know.
Maybe they would have made
films.
friends with the zombies and created some sort of little commune.
So you pictured some sort of hippie zombie utopia, did you?
Yeah, you damn fucking right I did.
Where they only eat organic brains.
Grass-fed.
But I mean...
Yeah.
But the first movie ends... Because they can't kill the zombies, so the first movie ends with the facility just getting bombed, doesn't it? There's a big, like, mushroom cloud. So, I mean...
Oh, God, yeah.
There's a precedent
it's not
for
just
it.
the facility, is it? Don't they just nuke the city?
Yeah, so there's a precedent for it.
It sounded, though, like they were just going to be like, yeah, just lock the doors, let them do what they want. Because, what is his name? Mr. Callahan. Who does he play?
Wait, who are we talking about?
Peter Callahan.
I don't know.
The old science dude. The old army dude.
Alright, you know there's a blank spot in my film knowledge, and that is character names. You know this.
Yeah, that's true, actually. That's true. It's very rare that I know the actor name.
And you're always like, oh, I'm Bill. Who the fuck's Bill? which one was Bill?
Who the fuck? I can't remember what his name was, but I've got it written down. It is Colonel Peck.
There you go. Consult your 10 pages of notes, you nerd.
I'm not even sorry. I tried really hard. Colonel Peck, when he's dragging Colonel Reynolds out of the way, he's like, they're gonna shut down the entire facility. Like, it's under lockdown. We need to get out right now. They don't say anything about we're gonna blow the shit out of this joint. You know, and that led me to believe that maybe they weren't going to blow the shit out of this joint.
Who can say?
Me. I can say, and I did.
I'm so heat damaged at this point.
You are so warm. Well, I mean, like, that's it. That's the end of the film. They burn themselves alive. They seem remarkably chilled out about it. And Sinclair gets what's coming to her.
Yeah.
Which
is glorious.
Is the ending I think we all hoped for.
It's the ending she deserved.
It was. It wasn't painful enough, I don't think. But maybe I'm too interested in painful deaths right now.
Perhaps.
Something to work on.
Talk about it in therapy.
Yeah. So, I guess now we're at the end of the film. That means that we are at the end of this podcast as well.
Do you want to give a wrap up then?
Yeah, I think so. Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
I really fucking enjoyed this film. I don't think that it stood up to Return the Living Dead for me.
Same.
But, you know, it wasn't far off. Like, it was enjoyable. It was silly in places, which I found very funny. It had a kind of ham-fisted way of dealing with certain topics, but I don't think it was intentional at all, and I don't think it was done with any major thought behind it. I think it was kind of just a product which has come from it since. Yeah. Because the whole issue of things like self-harm has obviously come much more into the mainstream than it would have done back in 1993.
Oh, hugely, yeah.
So I think maybe that's just it being a product of its time, but overall I think it was excellently cast. I really enjoyed the hell out of it, even watching it by myself. And I didn't take a break in the middle of it either.
I'll be honest.
I watched it all the way through.
I'm kind of surprised you've enjoyed it that much. I thought you would get a kick out of it, but it was...
I'm not like, oh my god, this is my most favourite film ever.
No, of course, but it's one of those...
I enjoyed it. I thought it was hella fun.
Yeah, I was kind of on the fence about how much you would enjoy this one. Because it's got a huge cult following, but it's
love that you pre-decide how much I'm going to like films.
I give it some thought.
Like, genuinely, I love that you do it. I love that you do it. You're like, oh my god, you're going to love this. Now you'll fucking hate this.
I think I've gotten pretty good at gauging.
Yeah, you have. And I think we're in an echo chamber where you only show me films you think I'll like now. Oh, yeah. So I only watch stuff I think is amazing.
Well, yeah, because I like you.
Well, yeah, exactly. But it means that we only watch films that I think are great. So if anybody ever says, like, what film of the past 5 years didn't you like? I'm like, don't know, I haven't seen it. Sarah's already vetted it for me.
I love that.
Haven't seen anything shit. It's all been great.
Yeah, I don't. Just to kind of expand on what you said, it's a film that I think stands up to rewatches.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten some of it. Some of it was really distinct in my memory. I think I enjoyed it more now than I did when I first saw it. I think I get more out of it.
Is it because it's grown on you, or is it because you notice more things, or what?
I think all of the above. Like a little of column A, a little of column B, and I think my tastes have changed a little bit as I've gotten older. Yeah. And actually, I used to be really confused as to why it was even called Return of the Living Dead 3, because it's got, on surface level, it's got so little in common with the first two movies that it just confused me, and it felt like a cash grab. I think it sort of felt a little bit cynical, but actually it fits perfectly within the existing mythology. They pay homage to the first two films quite well while going in a completely different direction.
Yeah, I think that was really well done.
I think it's easily one of Brian Yuzna's better films.
What else did he do? He did Society, didn't he?
done... Society's great. He's done a bunch of stuff.
Society Reanimator.
It's all really schlocky, though. He also did Faust, Love of the Damned, which I covered on a really old podcast. Maybe about like 8 or 9 years ago, and it's genuinely one of the worst films I've ever seen. Like, imagine if The Crow was just utterly shit.
Oh,
and then that's kind of it. But the caliber involved, like Jeffrey Combs is in it, Screaming Mad George did the effects. The mind boggles. And also, the documentary that I talked about on last week's minisode, In Search of Darkness, Brian Yuzna was interviewed for that.
Oh, nice.
And it shocked me how wholesome he is. He just looks like someone's granddad, and I love it. I just wanted to give him a cuddle.
Just claim him as your granddad.
Yeah, I might. Dear Mr. Yuzna.
You are my granddad. Lots of love, Sarah Law.
Yeah, I think it's a genuinely good film. I think it's schlocky. I can see why it wasn't embraced by critics at the time, but I can also see why it's got such a cult status now. And I'll come back to it again in the future, for sure.
Things that are funny when they're not meant to be funny are even funnier than funny things.
Yes, agreed.
That is my takeaway. And with that, I am going to wrap up. We have had an awesome time, as ever. I love talking to you, Sarah. We have the best conversations. And thank you guys for tuning in and listening. If you've got any comments on what we said tonight, if you've got any arguments that you want to put forward, or any recommendations for future films that you'd like us to cover, then hit us up on social media, and we are always about. But until then, we will see you later, and stay spooky.
Bye.